I'm showing you my process of putting a book together, which is going to be a prayer journal. I know you might want to call it a junk journal, which is quite popular these days, but when I called it a junk journal, my 9-year-old daughter took offense at the word junk because many of the pages are from her art and doodles. Basically, though it's all scraps of paper people would call junk, for me, it's all meaningful. Some of you may have seen my prayer journal video in which I focused on different areas of the world and people I know in different countries. This is going to be more personal because it's relating to my loved ones, my family. I first made a cover out of cardboard, and I used a stiff cardboard covered with paper for the outside and another stiff piece of paper for the inner cover. And I attached these together with a brad, which I decorated and made myself from a hot glue gun and a mold. And I pushed the brad through the two covers and I covered it with pieces of paper to reinforce it. And so on this cover, I've piled up the signatures, which are 4 or 5 sheets of paper put together and folded. And each of these I am attaching to the spine with stretchy kind of wire, which is used for jewelry making, which I just found. And so I'm putting these signatures together from the middle page. I am lining it up with the inner cover and I'm stretching the elastic across. And in this way, starting from the middle going towards the outside, I can put my pages together. I can remove and add pages as I like. Nothing is permanent. And already I've rearranged it several times, but this is the way it's going to be for the time being. And my plan is to write out scriptures. This time I am thinking of copying out the book of Colossians throughout this book. I am thinking of writing out prayers behind the flaps and on the different pages. Maybe I'll insert them into pockets. Another thing I've done is create prayer cards for my family. And this is just cards which I decorated with their photos. And on each card, I've put specific prayers for my loved ones. And these I'm putting in the pockets in this book. And on different days, maybe on one day, I'll pray for one person in a focused way. And on another day, I may pray for another one. Each day I've decorated with just random pieces of paper. I wanted to make it colorful and bright because I love colors. There's no real theme or anything, but I just want bright colors and the things that I like. I'm adding some photographs and some of the pages are painted. These are mostly just leftovers from other projects I've done or paintings that my children have done, which I've cut up. Which I've folded up and put into this book. I think I'm going to enjoy using this book. And while I'm creating the rest of this book, I want to make sure I give you something of spiritual value because in my channel, I always want to share about the Word of God, the transformation that we can have through Jesus, through knowing His Word. And everything I share on my channel are projects and creative things I do because I want to share my faith. I want to grow in faith and encourage others to do the same. And so in my prayer journal, I'm going to be writing out scriptures. I'm going to be meditating on the Word of God as I bring my requests to Him, especially concerning my loved ones. And I know that many of you have subscribed to my channel because of my prayer art journal video, and that tells me prayer is important to you and the Bible is important to you as well. I've been on this path for over 2 decades now. Since I've really taken prayer seriously, I've always believed in God. But when I truly started realizing my need for the Lord and His Word, and I became more devoted to Him than ever before, I've seen so many personal breakthroughs, and everything came as a result of prayer. I want to encourage you to keep praying and seeking the Lord for whatever you need and whatever you desire. One thing I've learned over the years is that our desires are important to God. John 14:13 says, "Whatever you ask in my name, that I will do, that the Father may be glorified in the Son." Can you imagine? God is glorified when we ask in His name and when He answers our prayers. And that's a wonderful truth to know. For the longest time, I thought my desires didn't matter. I thought that I can't really ask God for things, but I should just pray to God and try to be holy and not ask God for too much, because God is not a Santa Claus, of course. That's what everyone says. And so I really didn't feel like I was worthy of asking God for anything, especially the things I wanted. I was constantly being told, relinquish your desires, which made me feel like my desires are nothing and I should not be asking God for anything. But when I got married, my husband, he said that is not true. Jesus said, ask what you desire and it shall be done for you. Jesus says, ask and you will receive. Nothing is too difficult for God. I've encouraged my children also to pray for everything. My son once prayed for a monster truck when we were living in a country where no one has heard of monster trucks. And I kind of felt sad thinking, well, he's praying for this and he may never get it. Around that time, someone gave him a gift, and inside was an actual toy monster truck. That just goes to show you God heard his prayer and wanted to show how much he cared. I know that there are many people concerned about praying for loved ones, and sometimes it's a very difficult situation when the people you're praying for don't want to know about God, or they push you away, or they just don't even want to be prayed for. But we just need to keep praying and keep trusting and keep following after the Lord. As we ask in prayer and believe that we receive them, we will have what we ask. And I did make a video about God being able to save to the uttermost, even things that seem so hopeless or so difficult. And in that video, I've explained my thoughts, so I hope that you will watch that next. May the Lord bless you.